They laughed when the fire reached my laptop. Dad's voice cut through the crackling flames. You should have known your limits, son. And my sister, always a performer, smirked like it was the punchline to a long, cruel joke. I can still see the fire reflected in her wine glass, her eyes shining with satisfaction. I didn't say a word. I just smiled because the laptop they burned wasn't the laptop. When I built the software, I wasn't chasing money. I was trying to save our family business, a struggling logistics company, barely breathing against competitors. I coded day and night, designing an algorithm that could predict market shifts and optimize our fleet. Dad called me his golden son. He used to say I had the mind that would save our name. Funny how words decay over time. My sister, Erin, was the talker, the charmer, the face of the company. She could sell an idea before she even knew what it was. For a while, we worked like a flawless machine, my code, her sales pitch, Dad's approval. Then the money started rolling in and I began to notice how my name slowly vanished from everything. The first warning was the quarterly report, my tech expenses erased. Then came the new website, featuring a tagline I had written word for word: predict the future. Delivered today. Only now, it was credited to Erin. I thought it had to be a mistake until I saw the new shareholder documents. My name was gone. My shares absorbed into a new entity signed by Dad's lawyer. When I confronted him, he sighed like I'd let him down. You're not built for leadership, son. You're the kind of person who builds tools, not empires. That night, I didn't sleep. I studied. I planned. I didn't fight back right away, they expected that. Instead, I pretended. I showed up to work like nothing happened, tinkering with prototypes, smiling on cue. But behind every keystroke, I was building something else. A hidden system buried deep inside the company's network. It looked like security software, but it wasn't. It was a trigger, a quiet mechanism that would hand control of everything back to me if the right conditions were met. I called it Echo because echoes never die. They just wait for the sound to return. The trigger was simple: delete my name from the registry one last time, and Echo would wake up. Every contract, every transaction, every model rerouted straight to a secure node I controlled. Then, I waited. Erin made her move at Dad's 60th birthday party. The whole family was there, champagne, laughter, string lights swaying in the night. She stood by the pool, holding a glass, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. Time for you to step aside, loser. The board voted. Dad agrees, the crowd clapped. Dad rested his hand on my shoulder like he was giving a eulogy. I just nodded. And that's when she did it, the big show. She grabbed my laptop, the one I built everything on, and tossed it into the fire pit. Flames devoured it instantly, gasps, a few nervous laughs. Dad sighed in relief, and I laughed too, but quietly. Because I knew the truth. The real brain, the real power wasn't in that machine. It was buried in the servers, locked and encrypted months before. 2 days later, the company went dark. Systems froze. Shipments stalled. Clients panicked. Erin called me 23 times that morning. Dad called once. I didn't answer. Then came the press release claims of a software malfunction causing financial chaos. Within 48 hours, their empire collapsed. By the end of the week, investors pulled out. By Monday, I owned every line of code again. Because Echo didn't just reroute data, it rerouted ownership. Through a maze of digital trusts and offshore accounts, every bit of intellectual property came back to me. When Dad finally showed up at my apartment, he looked smaller, defeated. You destroyed us, he said. I corrected him, calm and steady. No, Dad, I just took back what was mine. Erin stood behind him, mascara streaking down her face. She didn't need me to explain, she already understood. The patience, the precision, the inevitability. I poured coffee for both of them. No gloating, no yelling, just silence. Because revenge isn't loud. It's quiet, surgical, final. The company runs again, now leaner, smarter, mine. Dad retired, claiming health issues. Erin moved out of state. Every so often, I get an email from her, short, bitter, unsigned. I never reply. Sometimes I think about that night, the fire, the laughter, the smell of burning plastic. The moment she realized I was smiling for a reason. They thought they burned my legacy, but all they really did was light the fuse. And when the smoke cleared, they finally understood the rule. I built everything on the same rule that drives code, business, and bloodlines. Delete the wrong variable, and the whole system resets.